Hey guys,
Hey.
we we were just talking about something before. And it's about a death experience, about dying and coming back, life after life. These sorts of things that happens to people. People have divine interventions and miracles, or either or both, whatever you want to call it. I made a video before, and it's difficult for me to express things when I'm not in control. And I'm not in control. Like, if there's one thing me and Maren's learned about things, we are not in control, eh, Maren?
Right.
Absolutely not. Maren, she's her mother was abducted by aliens, and she was inserted. She had all incisions in her body with amnesia, and then Maren popped out of the blue. And Maren's very different. You could say that Maren's having a terrible human experience. Well, that would be the best thing to say, wouldn't it? A terrible human experience, okay? We have voltage reliability in our aura, in our DNA, and that's power, okay? We have power in our body cells. And if you've ever heard the expression, like Dr. Bruce Lipton tells you, we have enough power as a nuclear warhead, right, in our cells. Okay, billions of cells with 0.004 volt in each cell. Have you ever, you know when someone's like a magnet, you draw to people, and there's something about their aura, you just draw to that person. It's like everybody loves John. Nobody hates John. There's something about John. You know what I'm saying? Some people are like a magnet and draw people to them, right? And just get on with everybody. Okay? And, those people seem to be pretty rare today. Very rare, those people that really draw a crowd just by their nature, just by their personality, just the way they are. And they tend to have more friends and more relationships than anybody. You know those type of people? Well, Maren, everybody draws to Maren like this. They draw to her like a ton of bricks. Everybody she knows, right? But she's so innocent and so shy because of her life. Ever since she came here, she's been very different, okay? Her mum and dad still treat her like a child, like she's about 10, and they're so nervous about her. Maren's been fainting her whole life, ever since a child. She doesn't have seizures, okay? That's the astonishing part. Okay, she's been checked with psychiatrists and everything. There's nothing wrong with her. They can't find anything wrong with Maren. Nothing at all. Not in relation to any of this. But she's been fainting her whole life. And she stops breathing. She stops breathing, right? She literally stops
Yes.
breathing, right? And Maren's fainted about, I don't know, 6 or 7 times since you've been with me, I suppose. He fainted the first day. The very first day he fainted and dropped. And 5, 6, 7 times since. Now Maren, she just stops breathing. And I always grab her. Right? And she comes back pretty fast. Excuse me, guys. She comes back really fast. And she's been having these events her whole life since she was a child. And when she was a child, she had it really bad. And everybody's worried about Maren all the time because she's still like an innocent child. She's never developed a character or a personality or mentality because of what she's been through. She's so different, it's not funny. Now, her mum and dad's like a nervous wreck, right? They are like a nervous wreck. And they always think there's something wrong with Maren. Peter, the guy she lived with for 12 years or 11 years, he thinks there's something wrong with Maren as well, right? And he has to drink in the afternoons and has to numb himself because Maren has what we call voltage unreliability, right? She saps people. You know when you sometimes touch someone and you get electric shock, static shock? Well, Maren has, when you get a shiver in your spine when someone kisses you on the neck or something and you go, oh, Maren has a really bad voltage unreliability that touches you like this, right? Or the opposite, right? If she can stare at you and put holes straight through and you feel it through the atmosphere, you feel it when she's staring at you, you're not in the right mood. She doesn't have to say a word and you feel it. So powerful. And she can stop the room. She'll stop the whole room. If Maren's not happy and she looks in the room, everybody's saying, oh, Maren's looking at us, oh. And everybody in that room feels Maren looking at her, right? And then she's like, are you okay, Maren? Is everything all right, Maren? Right? And people talk to her like that, her friends and her family, right? Always concerned about Maren, right? Because they don't even know how to take her. They can't even understand it. Listen, she had MS, right? And I've made a lot of videos about this. She keeled over her whole spinal cord in a wheelchair, right? Beyond the point of return, right? Okay, when she keeled right over her spine, right backwards, right? Like curled right backwards, okay? The doctors had no idea what to do. I grabbed her and I said, come here, Maren, come here. And she straightened up her spine, walked out of hospital. When they wanted to send her rehab for 5 weeks, the next day she's walking perfectly. Her mum sees it with her own 2 eyes and puts a big post up on Facebook over a year ago and said, wow, I saw the miracle myself. She knew it was a miracle, right? And Maren was perfect the next day. She collapsed. She was in hospital for 5 weeks and they wanted to put her rehab for 5 weeks. And I proved to her, it's not about that. It's about herself, right? And I straightened her straight up and brought life back into her. And she came back to life when she was losing, right, her Neuralink, which is the spinal cord, Jacob's ladder, which is MS disorders, the Neuralink itself, the tree of life. And you came back, didn't you, straight away? And you were perfect the next day. And she wasn't in a wheelchair. Okay, she was walking around perfect the next day, and all she had was a little bit of numbness in the fingers, wasn't it? The point is, the other day I made 3 powerful testimonies. The first one was the inspirational testimony. I'm not in control of myself and I'm scared. I'm more terrified than you realise. When you realise and listen to this video, right? It's a testimony I've never made. And when Maren watched 3 testimonies in a row, right, she stopped breathing. This time, right, just the other day, 2 days ago, wasn't it? This time, right, her pulse was gone, right, for about a minute, right? I'm sitting next to her, right? Her pulse was gone. I went for a pulse in the neck, gone, right? And this time, right, she didn't just stop breathing and her pulse didn't just stop, but she was laying there for about a minute, right? And she rolled back with her eyes open, like gone. And I knew she was gone, man. I was checking her out, right, 3 or 4 times. She was gone. And she's lying there with her eyes wide open, right? And she's like that with her eyes open, right? And I'm thinking, fuck me, man. Fuck me. And I just grabbed her, right? You know, I could have rung triple O and panicked, right? But I didn't. I grabbed her and held her really tight. And I said, Maren, come back, Maren. Maren, it's okay, come back, right? And she was still gone, eyes open, not a breath. I said, Maren, come back. And I grabbed her tighter, all right, and on the cheek, and I said, Maren, come back. Come back, Maren. Maren, come back, Maren. Come on, Maren, come back. And then Maren goes, I'm here. She responds. She gets her breath back, right? And she gets with the program and she responds, right? Right in that moment, she throws up, right? We had a bucket there right next to us, thank God. And she throws up and doesn't stop throwing up. And then she has to shit herself and she shits everywhere. Mate, when your heart stops, it's a known fact, the 2 most powerful signs when you cark it is that you let go and you vomit, everything just comes out because all your muscles let go, right? You completely let go and all the shit comes out, and she came out everywhere, didn't you? Like, you came out big time. And, you know, like I had to put a wet rag over her, right? A cold rag on her face, right? And, you know, had to get her cleaned up, right? And she lay down for a while, right? She went through a hell of an event. Normally she gets straight back up and back on her feet within a couple of minutes, every time without fail. Not this time.
Oh, no.
This time she had to sit in the toilet for about 10 to 15 minutes and I had to sit with her and hold her, right, and get her into bed. and just lie down, mate, and she just lay there and sweat, right? Okay, she was really going through an experience, like I know how people look straight after death, man, and I'm telling you, she was going through a dramatic event and really hard to stomach it. She couldn't eat, she couldn't do nothing. Could you? You just couldn't, right? And, I made the video before about my wife dying in 1992, right? And coming back to life 3 times, okay? And lives to tell the story, wrote the most powerful poem. You have to be there, right? You have no idea what it's like to go through an event like this, right? And to see a body, right, lift 8 inches off the bed and coming back to life. One of the most powerful miracles in the world, fully recorded evidence, right? But to be there and to feel that moment is a whole different ball game, right? It's not a lot of fun. And when you consider, I had no idea what was going on that day, none at all, right? And she wrote the most powerful poem in 2003, the one and only, and says, right, in an interview, that I'm the one that brought her back to life, right? I'm the one that she saw at the end of the tunnel and refused to let her go, all right? And told her to come back the same way, exactly the same way that I told Marion to come back. It's exactly what she expresses in that interview, right? And when she wrote the most powerful poem in 2003, the one and only, #1 worldwide for 8 months, and because they got this on CCTV with 7 peer reports, they gave her an interview, right? They went and interviewed her and got a statement about the poem because it was so powerful, and especially with the events she went through, when she was given 0% chance of living, and she lives to tell the story, and she flatlined 4 times, Narcan the first time, and then 3 massive miracles in a row, right? Massive divine intervention, right? Beyond anything ever seen before in any hospital or any medical record. So powerful, you have no idea. And when you find out that you're the one responsible, right, and you don't even know this, you don't even know how you're blessed with such an ability to do this. But then when you find out in their 34-year study that they also interviewed several other people that had drug overdoses, and I brought them back, because I was there in those moments and called in to bring someone back from a drug overdose that had a near-death experience or flatline and brought back. And you don't think nothing about it, because I used to know how to give people the right salt shot. Okay, it does a reverse effect, right? It does a chalk effect. When you shoot up and have a bad shot and you OD, you do a salt shot, right? Everyone knows this, right? Table salt. If you know what you're doing with table salt, it has an adverse effect of reversing immediately. It's a known fact, right? Junkies know that worldwide. It's not a secret. Doctors tell you this. If you're in an emergency, get a salt shot immediately into your veins, right? Because it always had a good adverse effect. Put them in a bathtub, right, with hot water, as warm as you can, because it massages the heart and all the arteries and thins the blood out, right? And a salt shot, and it does a reverse reaction, right? It's a known fact. And I've been in those situations a few times. But those people, a few of them was interviewed as well, and they said they were sent back because of me, right? My brother died in the Kempsey bus accident, and he didn't talk to me for 27 years because he was sent back from heaven because of me, and he blamed me for 27 years. And I had no idea. I didn't even know for 27 years. I had no idea that he didn't talk to me for 27 years because when he went to heaven and died, he was sent back because of me, right? And it took me a long time to revise my perception about this, but I did the same thing, okay? But the fact is, I wasn't even there when he died. I left there before he flatlined in hospital when he was in a coma for 3.5 weeks, and it happened about 5 in the morning, and I left about 3 o'clock. I wasn't there. So I can't take responsibility for anything like this, right? And really, I don't know. You don't know how these things work. You're not in charge of anything. You're not responsible for it. And you're not in charge of what's going on. You know it's a divine intervention. It's a miracle. And no one can explain these things, right? But when you have the divine power, and you're given such a divine power at the time, in an emergency, an act of emergency through death, or some kind of death experience like this, it's the only time these things happen. They don't just happen out of the blue like a trick. It's not that you can run around doing tricks and shit like that. It's a gift that's given in an act of emergency, right, through fight flight mode, in a death experience or something like this. And, like how it comes to my shoulders is mind-blowing, but it just does. It just does. And I can't even lie about these things. You know, like I've been involved in divine interventions like this, right, with miracles that are so far beyond the mind, people don't believe in it. They're just jealous and spiteful about it, right? Just selfish and egotistical and don't care because they haven't got a care factor. They've got no faith. None, right? They just want to argue with you and throw stones at you because they've got no faith. Oh, show me the documents. They've got more faith in a document in their mentality than when they had in the horse's mouth because they can't feel the truth anymore. They've got no faith in nothing. They've got no belief system at all. They just want to argue, debate, and divide. Oh, if it's not in the document, it's not real. They're mentally insane. You know, they can't even see it themselves how stupid they are. If the Father's created images like this, and it's a confirmation, right, and fully recorded, then why do you argue and debate it? To satisfy your own reptilian mentality, right? Why would you want to satisfy that? If you can't be satisfied with faith, and like this, it'll never be satisfied. No document can ever satisfy a reptilian mentality in 5 sense world. On a document can never satisfy nothing, right? Can't grow faith, right? And you won't get faith from a document ever in your life because you haven't got any. You got no faith system at all, right? And it doesn't matter who you are, where you come from, right? You'd want to be involved in these situations. You want to have the divine power. You want to be in that moment, the power involved in this. It's so far beyond your mind. And what you feel in these moments, right, you don't even know what's going on. And it takes a while to revise your perception. And that's why Kirsty took, right, she took fucking 11 years to write that poem, or 10 years to write that poem, right? It took a long time to revise her perception. You always go in a time where time stands still, right? Okay, it can be in a heartbeat in half a minute. You go in a time where time stands still, and trust me, things come to you out of the blue, right? Everyone knows this, all right? When people die, 99% of the time, it's a known fact, right? They change. And people always say around, geez, Tommy's really changed. He's different now, right? Because he had a death experience. They change. They seem to be more observant about things, okay? And go to a higher moral level, no matter what. Even if they're a junkie and they OD later or something, they still change. Something changes them through a death experience, a known fact. They become more alert, more alive, more aware of things, right? A lot more aware and a lot more curious about things, right? And they tend to be a lot more compassionate about people they care about, right? They come in with more authority and people like, don't do this, don't let this person hang around, don't do this, don't do that. And they don't mean to because they know something, right? They know all the mistakes they made and their behavior. And when they see it in you, they kind of give you advice. They don't want to see you do the same thing they did because they changed. And when they change, they often try to change you or just walk away from you. Most people in a death experience walk away from all their friends, or maybe just keep a couple of them, okay, and completely select new friends. Believe it or not, it's a known fact. That's why people always say, geez, Tommy's changed. He's not the same anymore because he's not the same radical person he used to be. He doesn't make the same decisions anymore. Not when he faces something like this, right? I died at 18 with a drug overdose and walked around like a zombie for a week, and believe me, I changed dramatically. It's a hell of an event. And when you have a death experience and clinically dead, mate, it does something to you. I died the third time in 2012 and I had a massive transformation and started to see things completely differently through death experience. And you know what? It's being taken out of your vessel in a time where time stands still like it surfs and then coming back. You know, I was gone for 23 minutes in 2012, clinically dead. And I can tell you right now, it's like coming back with months of information, right? Months and months and months of information. Like you've been there forever type thing. And you can come back with deja vu in the past, the future, and all sorts of unbelievable things. I died at 2 years old, drowned in a bathtub. Told my mum about the worst moment in her life in 1945 in World War II. And she thought it was a freak of nature, right? Because I was 5 years old. And that's what happened when I died at 2 years old. Okay, it wasn't until I found out that I was drowned in a bathtub 50 years later that it came to me that I remember when I died. But I don't remember the event because I was only 2 years old. I don't remember in this world. I don't remember in my mentality or my personality, but I remember in my spirit when I died and crossed over and came back. Because that's where I saw my mum sitting in her mum's arms through her third eye, as if it was me, and felt everything she felt in that moment, the most terrifying moment in her life, and I felt it. And I've learned something. Everything is about feelings, not about thinking. Thinking prevents you from feeling the truth. It prevents you from feeling the truth so powerful, you have no fucking idea what your mind prevents you from feeling. When we can't feel with our biofields and our bio instincts, and to think instinctively outside the mind, you can't feel with your aura when it doesn't work, right? You got to be in your aura. You got to be in your spirituality. You got to be out of your mind, not in your mind. You got to be out of your mind, and stop living inside your mind with a voice mind that tells you to do that. That's ultimately designed to do things, because that's what controls you. When you break free from your vessel, you see things completely differently. You start to see things and understand things you never understood before with dimensional thinking, with remote viewing, mental telepathy, ESP, deja vu to predict the future, prevent what's going to happen. And things open up like a corridor with a universal connection and the love that pours all over you that you don't even understand. You have no comprehension of. The mind doesn't fucking understand, right? The vessel doesn't understand. The personality and mentality's got no fucking comprehension of this at all. It's feelings, man. Everything's about feelings, and you feel the truth, and the picture that tells you 1,000 words is a picture that you feel. Your third eye, right, it's a vision that tells you 1,000 words that you feel, right? It's a vision in deja vu where you see the truth and you feel it. And you feel it so powerful, you got no fucking idea. And it's the feelings that we're lost. To feel the truth, to feel between right, wrong, and evil, and not to make a conclusion, right, with your mind and your own truth, and manifest your own truth and meditate your own truth, right, and come to your own conclusion with reason, because reasoning is nefarious. It's in the mind. It's in a 5-sense world. It's not in your biofields. It's not in your 6th sense and all your 27 senses, because it doesn't work. And that's where things are so powerful, with miracles and magic and all sorts of weird and wonderful things that we have no comprehension of or understanding of. But believe me, my life's been full of them, plenty of them, right? Enough to convince me that there's no doubt, absolutely zero doubt with what I've gone through. I have no doubt at all. I have given myself in complete consent for the Father to control my vessel, and what an experience, right? It's been the greatest thing I've ever done in my life. I never went to church, never read the Bible, but I went through this, right? I went through the death experience, I went through the transformation, I went through the other side and come back, right? And I've gone through this many times. I've been around people who's died 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 times and listened to their stories when they cross over and come back. And it's always the same shit. I don't care what people say and say to me, blah, blah. People ever go in their biz and gets pulled back out and sent back again, right? Or they go to that beautiful place, it's like heaven, man, and they don't want to come back. It's beautiful. They get a clarification and they feel the same thing. They feel love pouring all over them. They feel everything like X-ray vision, X-ray view, and X-ray feelings. And it's so far beyond the mind, it's always the same story. And they never want to come back. And it's the same story in the underground world. It's the same story in every country in the world and amongst every human being on earth, no matter who they are, where they come from, or what they believe in. It's always been the same shit, right? Either they come back with another opportunity because they didn't have a relationship and they're all about themselves. It's a known fact. It's always about the fact they were about themselves, okay? And they were sent back with another opportunity. Take a look at my brother's accident, right? He said goodbye to 90 people that died in his bus, except for the drivers responsible for the accident. And it's in the front page paper by Dr. Wright. Our biggest miracle, right? They checked out every name he said goodbye to was the first name that died in his bus. And Kathy's was the last one. So think about this. What did she say? She said the others were lost and getting one more final opportunity. That was the 27th of January, 1990. Okay, 1990. He didn't talk to me for 27 years. And 27 years later, I find out the truth. He didn't talk to me because he was sent back because of me. But think about this, okay? Either way, my brother got another opportunity, right? Another opportunity, okay? Because it's all about himself. And he saw that place and he saw Kathy, the love of his life, and he came back because he was sent back because of heaven, because of me, okay? Because of me. And he rejected me for 27 years and blamed me because he was sent back from heaven because of me. So he blamed me for 27 years. So I lived that wrath from him. I lived that isolation from my brother, which was one of my, he was my favorite brother at the time. So I lost the whole relationship for 27 years because of his mentality, right? Because of his mentality, and I didn't even know. I got punished for this for 27 years. And God created this with the Kempsey bus accident, a miracle with Dr. Wright and the psychiatrist on the front page of the paper, and he had a clean mental health bill. There was nothing wrong with him. He said goodbye to 19 people, and they confirmed that every name he said goodbye to was the first name that died in the bus. And what did Kathy say? They were lost. They were trapped in a reincarnation trap with amnesia and didn't know what they were doing. They were lost and getting one more final opportunity. And that was 1990. One more final opportunity. So we know when Christ learned reincarnation and life after life, and at 24 he first discovered he was, he said, I'm son of David, son of Abraham, right? Okay, Nimrod is resident in the Osiris and all the Osing Ivoris, and into the Rothschilds, into Herod, and into the whole system today, and they've been doing it their whole life. Back in the 60s, we knew this. Today, the world's so mental, they don't believe in it. They have amnesia, how would they know? Your mother, she talks about 2 previous lives, doesn't she?
Yeah.
And so does your sister.
Yeah.
And they know they've got amnesia.
Yeah.
And do you remember I said to them, how would you like me to wake up from amnesia? And your mum, what did your mum say?
Yeah. No.
She said no.
Yeah.
Her mum knew she had amnesia, and I said, look, I can help you, didn't I?
Yeah.
I said, I'll wake you up from amnesia, right? And you remember the UFOs, and you remember every single thing about your abductions. And she didn't want to be woken up from amnesia. And the fact that she remembers having 2 previous lives. And she's not the only one, right? Plenty of elderly people know about their previous lives and always sent back in a reincarnation trap. They know. The Vatican knows as well. They know about purgatory. And here we are in this biggest miracle in purgatory with these people. My brother was in a coma for 3.5 weeks. And then he goes through this for 10 days. And these people came back to Sacred Bottom 3.5 weeks after they were dead. So they're in purgatory, waiting to come back. They're in purgatory, waiting to come back with the biggest miracle on the front page of paper, confirmed by Dr. Wright, who was an atheist, and so was a psychiatrist. But they changed the whole belief system. They changed the whole belief system after this miracle, because it was amazing. They were in the room when the orbs of light came in there. Like, it just lit up the room, especially when Kathy came there. Wow. And we were all there, and Dr. Wright was blown away, and so was the psychiatrist. But they were there. They watched it with their own 2 eyes and experienced the most wonderful moment. And they felt the aura of that power of love coming all over them. We felt the pins and needles everywhere. Love pouring all over the top of us when Kathy came there. It was amazing shit. And that moment is a spectacular moment. And Dr. Wright, an atheist, the first heart and lung transplant surgeon in the world that owns his own ward in the top of the PA hospital, he's the one that was there in that moment and wrote the article, right, with the psychiatrist from Queensland Mental Health, the office right in the same hospital. And it's not a joke. And when you have experiences like this, I want you to think about this. I ran into Dr. Wright 3 years later on the bottom floor with cancer patients, okay? And I was down there with a friend that had a minor stroke. And we were on the same emergency floor where they had patients, right? They was dying from cancer, but they had 1, 2, 3 months left to live. And he's walking around there talking to people, and I ran into him and he said, now I said to him, what are you doing down here, Dr. Wright? He's got his own ward on the top floor, $50 million ward. He said, Kim, I come down here for about an hour every day. I come down here for my lunchtime. And I just stroll through to see if there's any newcomers here, because ever since then, Kim, you know, we confirmed every name you said goodbye to, your brother. And Kim, I've changed my whole face. I know, you know, remember I told you, Kim, I gave your brother a 5% chance of living, and I didn't believe in life after life. And I told you, but I believe in miracles. Go and talk to him every day, every moment you can. Stay with him because he can hear you. And we do believe in miracles, but I didn't believe in life after life until that happened. So I'm down here saving these people that comes in and telling them, you know, you can be saved before you cross over, before you die. I've seen it with my own 2 eyes. And I always tell them about that miracle. I've been doing it non-stop ever since that day, Kim. And, you know, I love talking about it. The more I talk about it, the deeper I go, and the more I realise the things I didn't realise. Today, Kim, I tell the story the way I never even saw it the day it happened. You know, like I was there and I know, but, you know, you revise your perception about things like this and you really, really go deep. And it seems to sit in your heart and carry you. And Kim, I'll never forget that moment as long as I live. And when you live moments like this, right, and you see it with your own 2 eyes and how people change, mate, what happened to Marin the other day? I took your breath away, didn't I?
Yeah.
Literally.
Yeah. Yes.
Marin's in shock still, in a way, aren't you? You're sort of like, you're finding it hard to talk about it in a way.
Yeah, that's,
Very shy, right? But she knows that she fucking let go, and this time she went deep into the tunnel. And the thing is, she responded to me, right?
Yeah.
Like when I'm calling to her, and she remembers, right? She literally remembers me calling her, and she was deep in the inner tunnel and heard me very vaguely calling her. right? Very vaguely calling her. And as I kept calling her, I said, Maren, come back. Maren, come on, come back. She started to come back to the tunnel, right? And came back out and then got a gasp of air again and said, I'm here. Fuck, it was a mind blow, man. Jesus Christ, it blew my mind away, man.
Yes.
Man, don't do that to me again, man. That was hectic, that was. That was
Yeah,
seriously
yeah,
hectic.
yeah.
That was fucking, phew.
Yeah.
That's a bit full on, man.
Yeah.
But what an amazing moment. I mean, you just know it's a love. You
Yeah.
know that me grabbing you,
Mm.
it's a love, man. It's a love. It's a care factor. You just let go of everything. Like, you know something, guys, I've got to tell you something, all right? I wasn't feeling the best that day, was I? I was feeling shit.
Yeah.
And when I made those testimonies, I wasn't feeling the best. And I was probably doing my own head in, to be honest with you. Like if you realise what I'm carrying here and the burdens I've got on my shoulder on a daily basis for 16 hours, you have no idea what I'm dealing with. I mean, when you talk about Cliffy and Elaine, you have no idea how many people I'm dealing with every day like this. Man, I've got thousands of people I'm dealing with constantly, right? And it's not easy. It's very, very stressful. You know, I put on a strong face, man, like water for duck's back. But trust me, it's not easy being in my shoes, right? It's the greatest burden you could ever have in your life. And believe me, to carry it, it's not easy, man. And I don't even have a choice. I don't even have a say. I have to do this. I don't have a choice. I'm controlled by an outside influence that controls my reality, and I don't really have a choice. And boy, it's hard. And it's really, really hard to deal with on a daily basis. It's not easy. It's a lot harder than you think when you know it. If you're in my shoes, I can tell you right now, there's one of you out there that could stand in my shoes going through this on a daily basis and put up with what I have to put up with and help people through this the way that I do. Okay? It's fucking difficult, man. It would have to be the most difficult job you could ever take on. And trust me, I wouldn't wish it upon my own worst enemy. And I don't have a choice. But I'll tell you this, I was not feeling well for a few days, was I? I was not feeling well.
No.
And that moment that Maren carked it and stopped breathing like this, man, it took me right out of my shell, right? Okay, in full on concern, and I didn't give a fuck about myself. I just let go of all my own problems the way that I was feeling, and I was in the zone, right? Okay, pumped with panic to make sure everything was right. And I grabbed her, and you know, as when she came back, she's going through the vomiting and shitting all over the place. I mean, this is a bit of a hectic situation, and I'm just in tune, right? I haven't got time to worry about myself, so I just come right out of my own mind, okay? And when I got her to bed, I just lay down next to her, and my concern was to watch her 24/7 and just kick back, right? And when things finally settled down and she was settled down, she just needed to rest, and I just stayed right next to her in bed, right? And I'm just watching TV at the same time, right? And just relaxing. And once I got my breath back and relaxed, right, I'm like, right? And I went into deep relaxation because I couldn't fucking relax, man. And I'd been pretty intense for a few days.
Yeah.
And I realized how relaxed I got just laying there and just having her in my mind and not me at all, and just nothing about myself. And I eliminated every feeling I had that I was carrying a massive burden for a few days. And I'm always carrying a big burden, see, with this, when I have to deal with what I do every day. But this was extra heavy on me. I had an extra heavy burden carrying on me. And I told you, I bleed all the time. I cough and bleed non-stop. Yeah, isn't that true?
Yeah.
And the stronger my videos are, the more blood comes out, right? And it's like a sacrifice every day. And I spit out blood, man. I really do. Ask Maren, right? Believe me, I fucking do, right? I bleed every day, right? And it's the emergency, it's the urgency, it's the way that my vessel is controlled, right? Into a fight-flight mode. And I'm not worried. Even though I spit blood every day, I'm not worried at all, right? There's something that overrides me that has a lot more power than what I can even understand myself. But it's how I'm forced into this. And I was really, really having a hard burden on trying to get through people's skulls and save them, save their soul, cross them over, get them through the rebirth. And it's really urgent because it's as if every person out there is my own child, as if I love each and every one, right, each and every one as if you are the only one with the same tools. And that's the burdency that I carry. Like the Father is inside me. And oh boy, it's hard to carry. Right? It's so hard to carry. You got no idea what's going on. And he controls your business. I'm not in control. You know, you may think I am, but I'm not. I'm seriously not. Okay? That's why I wouldn't wish this upon my wisdom, because I tell you, there's no fun in it. It's not a lot of fun. And me and Maren are both dedicated every moment of the day. She does too. She sits there just as full on in tune with me 24 hours a day in the same shit. And that's why she is fucking full on as well. And she feels it that powerful that it takes her breath away.
Oh,
It takes her fucking breath away, man.
yes.
And her concern is so deep about our own family loves and friends the same way. And we both experience this for the same reason. We have the power to heal each other at the same time. Right? We have that pillar of salt with that soulmate relationship, and we need each other. And we're in urgent need because we form each other. And I can bring her back to life, and she can bring me back to life because she did. In this event, which was terrifying at the time and a hell of an ordeal, in that time that I let go of myself and concerned about her, over the next 4 or 5 hours, I healed myself with what I was going through the last 4 or 5 days. It healed me in return. I took myself right out of my vessel and cured myself with what I was suffering for a few days. And you wouldn't believe the side effects like this. You wouldn't believe the boomerang effect coming right back at you like this. You wouldn't even dream about it. Like, we constantly get shown things we don't understand, eh? Like, just wow.
Yeah.
The end
Yes.
results is incredible. And you wouldn't dream about it in a million years what the end results is. And, you know, we get surprised like this all the time. And how do you share this with everyone else? How do you really, really convey and share this with everyone else that is so spectacular that we can't explain it, man? It just happens, and it's profounding. And Maren, you've seen a lot of miracles in your time now. I mean, you have been sitting next to the most powerful experience with people on the other end. And wow, we've had an impact on a lot of people, man. We've saved a lot of lives, a lot of souls. I love the fact that so many people never believed in the Bible and never went to church. And they've all turned to Christ. They've all had that moment, that divine intervention and that miracle. They've all had that moment, right? And it's spectacular that people are going through the rebirth and through the crossover and going down the tunnel and getting that wonderful experience. The real love they deserve and freedom beyond the mind. And to see remember what I said to you guys, only 1 out of 1,000 will make a video. And I got hundreds of people that's gone through this that are too shy to make a video and don't even text. But I can tell you now, wow, the success out there with people crossing over is amazing stuff. Amazing stuff, you know. And that's why I'm here. Remember, message me, Kim Lakeford. I'm a private messenger. I'm there to guide everyone through this. And I don't give up on anyone, but don't take up too much time. Okay? And people out there that are high maintenance, can you back off a little bit? Because I've got a lot of people to deal with, right? And you suck me dry from my power, right? You suck me bone dry every day. And I'm sucked bone dry every day. The power that God gives me to get through this, oh, mate, I need it so bad, you have no idea. And if God didn't give me that power, I'd be screwed. I'd never be able to carry this. Even Maren, it's a lot to bear, isn't it?
Yeah.
And people wouldn't know how much that is to bear every day.
Aye.
And reliving it, reliving the whole thing, like, right? We have to live in the moment. We have to live in the truth. We can't live in denial, right? We're not given that option at all. We can't turn a blind eye. We're not given those options. Just scroll on and go follow someone else and just be an idiot and just be a robot and an actor all day. That's what most people are. They scroll on and learn nothing. They'll never cross over. They'll never go through the rebirth because they live in their mind, in a delusion. And they're going to suffer the consequences. If they don't restore their sixth sense, they don't restore their spirituality, and without restoring the spirituality, they'll never see what I show people in the testimonies. If you have a look, they go to the light and tell them, what do they see? They see the other side that's so beautiful. They see their future. They see deja vu in real life. And then they have the most powerful confirmation with the most powerful love pouring all over them, and they feel the relationship. And until you go through that experience where you feel the truth, you'll never know. Your mind's got no idea what you're doing. It's the oppressor. It plays tricks and games in you. You become your own prison, your own warden, and you suffer stress, fear, anxiety, confusion, frustration, illusion, and paranoia, and sit in a comfort zone. Until you cross over, you'll never know. It's the most powerful experience you'll ever experience, and you know what? You can't get it wrong. And people that go deep into this and go in the tunnel, what do they see? They see the Father giving them the love they never had and use me as a vessel to guide them through this. So they see me at the end of the tunnel. They all see me at the end of the tunnel. And if you haven't had that experience yet, you haven't gone there yet. Okay, so go back. Do it again. Do it again until you get there, because believe me, once you get there, you'll be like Lincoln and Philip. Right? You'll be like Lincoln and Philip. Okay? They'll give you the most powerful confirmation. Right? They'll give you the most powerful confirmation of what they're experiencing. Okay? They're a bit out of balance, out of whack with their personality. Don't let that worry you. They're going for a transformation, right? To compose themselves. I've had to get up Lincoln about his ego still being there, right? But no matter what, he's still telling the truth and he's still having those wonderful experiences. He's just got to learn to balance himself through the transformation and give it time, because patience is a virtue. It takes a bit of time to find your balance again, right? And to get your balance back, and not to be in control of it, but to have it automatically and let it come to you. Patience is a virtue. Good things come to those who wait. Good things come to those who wait, who doesn't try to push it with their mentality and their personality. Remember that, guys. Good things come to those who wait. Create the relationship, guys, and get back into your innocence, right? Get back in your selflessness, and believe me, the magic begins to happen. And what an experience. Okay, we'll leave you. Love you, guys. Love you and leave you.
Yeah. Love you and
Love you and
love you on.
you know, man,
Yeah.
shyest,
Yes.
most innocent little child you'll ever find in an adult body, right? With a bad human experience.
Yeah,
There's no other way to put that.
No.
If I say turn left, she turns right. Okay? Listen, guys. You know what it's like to live with Maren? I'll give you an idea. Right? I'll give you an idea. This is our whole day. If she'll make a coffee all day, she makes a coffee during the day because she's a coffeeholic. She's a fucking coffeeholic, man. That's the only thing that balances her. She's a coffeeholic. And every time she makes a coffee, right, she grabs one cup, right? And it'll take her fucking half an hour to make that cup of coffee, man. Right? Okay? She always puts the wrong amount of spoons in, the wrong sugar, she always gets it wrong, and she takes her half an hour to balance it up. It just doesn't work for her. Her wiring's out. And when she grabs a coffee, she walks one coffee in, and she walks like a little girl who's about fucking 6 years old with a big cup of coffee. She's like a 6-year-old. And she's nervous. She's nervous about spilling the coffee. She's so, this is her whole life. And the minute she's like this, because of her power and the codependent feelings, I'm like, I can feel it in the room straight away. Right? And that's the feeling she projects. She projects that, right? Nervous, right? And she's not nervous at all. She doesn't have any nerves. She's not scared of nothing. But she's scared of fucking up. And she's so morally right that it all goes morally wrong. She wants to help me every day. I get the butter and bread out, right? We start making sandwiches. She starts putting the butter away before I'm finished buttering the bread. And she doesn't mean, sorry. Like,
yeah, it's
there's no explanation for you. And of course, everyone thinks, Maren needs help. There's something wrong with Maren. There's nothing wrong with Maren. It's the way Maren is. You've got to understand Maren. You'll never understand Maren.
no.
You just got to kick along with the way she is, because she's got a diplomacy. She's got plenty of money. She's read more than 6,000 books. She's intelligent, but she can't even convey a speech. She can't convey words. She's that innocent and sweet, because even talking, the wires go wrong. Right? We always say, Maren, did they make a manual or you? They fucked up your wiring really bad, right? Really bad. Like, turn left, she turns right. Sit in the middle, she sits in the left. Sit in the right, she sits in the left, or sit in the middle. She does everything the opposite, and she doesn't mean to. She literally just tells the mind to go this way, but the message is sent to a Neuralink takes her the opposite direction, like the wiring's wrong. And you work that out with Maren. Her wiring's wrong, and I'm not even kidding you. Her Neuralink is wired up wrong, and I'm not even kidding you, right? Okay, she's so nervous about holding a cup that she overdoes it for herself, right? And she spills it everywhere. Okay? And if she was just casual, right, she wouldn't spill it at all. Not at all. And you know what? If she's alone, she might just do it that way. You see it once in a blue moon. But otherwise, she's too morally right, and it turns out morally wrong. Because she fucks herself up every time with that pal. And she puts that projection through the room where, oh, poor Maren needs help.
Yeah.
And that's why everyone thinks that way about you, right?
Yes.
Yeah, she's turned her own parents into a nervous wreck, man. I'm telling you.
Yeah,
And her friends. I'm not even
yes.
joking. And Peter, for 11 years, he's a beautiful man. But it was a blessing for me to come and take away. Oh, he cares more about Maren than me. That's why we get the cabin up there. That's his cabin, right? And he loves having it up there. But you know what? It was a blessing for me to take Maren away from him. And he's seriously concerned about Maren, loves her to death. But he thinks there's something wrong with Maren. And he had to drink alcohol when he came home from work every day, right, in order to cope, because Maren's voltage reliability saps him. And he couldn't work it out. He just could not work out Maren. And no one can work out Maren. They think Maren needs help. And as the psychiatrist says, they all need help because there's nothing wrong with Maren. And there's nothing wrong with her mentally. It's the wiring, right, in a Neuralink. And that's what it is. There's no other explanation. And when you can understand that she's an alien, for God's sake, she came from another world and she's having a terrible human experience. My TV remote, 3.5 years, for God's sake. And Maren. Mate, the worst thing I do sometimes is tell her to turn the TV on, and she does, right? And she turns it all pear-shaped. I got to go and reset the whole thing again. She cannot remember, right, how to turn remote on and off and just a channel. She can't do it, man. And you wouldn't dream about it in a million years, I'm telling you. It's like she deletes. Hey, we can watch a movie, right? She loves movies that are fucking
Oh.
adult rated with guns and gangsters and killing everyone, right? She gets
Yeah.
right off on the action-packed movies. No matter what, that's her big thing. Action-packed. Kill them all, right?
That's what you are.
She fights at
Yes.
night time in her sleep, right? Kicks the dune everywhere, right? And I've got to do her bed, right? Half the time, right? I've got to set a blanket straight, 'cause like she turns the blanket inside on the sheets, right? She
Oh.
pulls in the sheets. I don't know what the fuck she does. She goes to war at night time
Oh.
and she doesn't remember nothing. She wakes up like a little princess, like nothing's gone wrong. And I said, where were you last night? Look at your fucking bed. The sheets are pulled off the whole lot. Oh, she doesn't know.
Yeah, I know.
And she's weird. She never remembers shit. And then the other thing is that we you know, like when she's watching these movies, right? She loves guns, bang, 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 kill them all. Action packed, right? That's Maren. Full on action packed movie, right?
Yeah.
And I said, Maren, you got to get away from movies like this. It's bad for children. It's bad for children, right? And it's not good for you. Like, she gets bored shitless with anything else, even comedy shows. She's bored. She's just bored. She wants excitement, right? Can you imagine her going to Mum when she first found me with videos in my book? Look, Mum, look at Kim here. Like, he's wild. I like him. You should listen to him. Yeah, you should learn from him. Imagine what a mum would thought.
Yes.
They should learn from me, a drug lord, right? Deported, right?
Yeah.
Full on character. And she says to Mum, here, you should learn from him.
Yeah.
And Mum and Dad couldn't run further away. And they got paranoid to the shit house when she ran to me.
Yeah.
Oh!
I thought, yes.
Oh, man.
Overreaction.
Oh, fucking way over. But you put the shivers into them. You put fear in them. Oh, yeah, look at this guy. Oh, yeah. She still calls her parents Life and Bender, not Mum and Dad. Life and Bender. You know what she says? It's like being brought into this world by two kids. Why do I know what kids for? Why would I want kids when I got fucking two kids?
Oh.
That's how she feels, right? And you wouldn't believe that in a million years. But you know what? It actually shows that way. She has to walk on soft ice and glass. She can't even open her mouth around them because they can't tolerate what she talks about. They can't even touch bases with those subjects, right? So you got to walk around with grass and talk symbol talk. Oh, how's the weather? Nice day today. Oh, look, nice roses. Oh, did you buy that at the shop? Well, that's nice. Man, that's it, you know, like, and Maren felt like she was in the cave until she met me. And she can't communicate with anyone. She can put up with the shit I talk about every day and every complicated issue. I've been here with it, right? And
yes.
she just feeds right into it, man. Action packed, she says. Bring it on. The world needs to know everything. Hey, Maren, everything. Why are they so afraid, she says. Why are they all so shit scared of the truth? That's Marin, guys. Sweet, innocent little Marin, and shy, right?
Yeah.
But under that vessel, I'm telling you, there's someone else under there, and it's not who you think, right? Her little innocent vessel and her little shyness, there's a demon in there somewhere. There's a different spirit in there, and that spirit plays tricks and games with you, and you know it. Puts you in a fucking bad situation all the time. Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
And it screws with you.
Yeah.
When I go to the toilet to have a piss, you know what Marin does? She comes in and stares at me. And she can't help it. Then she says, oh, sorry. I said, no, you're not, because you stopped me pissing. When you're staring at me, I can't fucking piss. I'm sorry. And she's literally not responsible because she's not living in a personality. She's not living in a mentality. And that's what I have to learn. It's her spirituality that controls the vessel, and it plays tricks and games with you every day. And Marin's got no idea what she's doing. She's just sorry and innocent because she doesn't know what's going on. And that's what you have to learn about Marin. She has a spirituality, right? The pillar of salt that's wild as a cut snake. Oh yeah, it's not even the same person. It's two completely different people. And Marin's so innocent that she gives consent to the spirit that controls her, and her parents and her family and friends can never understand her. And without me knowing that I'm in my primordial state, in my spirit, in my celestial primordial being, and control my vessel from the outside, and if I didn't do that, I wouldn't get along with Marin. That's why we are chalk and cheese, right? We're the two biggest oddballs in the world from two different locations and two different walks of life, and you'd never think that we'd match. Mate, we match perfectly because our spirits match. But the two personalities, we have fun with each other because we bump into each other, right, with all these side effects, like everything's bizarre.
Yes.
We're having a bizarre life, so we have a great sense of humour because of our vessels, right, and being completely oddballs. And you wouldn't even think we fit together, but our spirituality does. That's why we're soulmates, because our spirituality as our primordial beings is the soulmates. It's the love, not our vessels. No, we clash sometimes, right? But we have to laugh about it because we know who controls our reality, and we're not in control, are we? No, not at all, eh? And that's why we kick it and laugh about it. Oh, you did that to me. Oh, you got me again. Oh, yeah. Poor man, you're just using me. You're just being used. You don't even know. Hey, and you know it too.
Yeah.
So when she stares at me, it's not because Marin's staring at me. It's because the spirituality takes over a vessel and makes her stare at me, and then Marin feels all embarrassed and goes red face. And she does. She actually goes, oh, I'm really sorry. And she is literally possessed by her own spirit. And okay, the same way I'm possessed, right, by the same spirit that controls me. A different spirit, of course, but you know what I'm saying? Same thing. When you allow your spirit, your celestial primordial being to take control of your vessel, wow, that's when life changes. And that's a transformation you're going through, guys. So get it right up here, okay? Okay. So plenty of love out there. And make sure you go through the rebirth, go through the crossover, and make sure that you have the greatest experience in your life, because believe me, it works. Just follow the platform, follow all the testimonies. Ask Nikki, Jay, Tom, especially Philip and Lincoln, okay? They'll tell you all about it, the good news. All right? So adios, amigo. You want to say anything?
Yes. I love you all.
Put me to go.
And that's
Okay.
love.
See you later, guys.
Yes.